So here we have the mainland of the United States of America, but up here we got Alaska. As we all know, I think it's the biggest state in all of the United States, and probably my favorite state. If I would ever go to the US from Sweden, I would probably go to Alaska. The fishing here is just so insane. But here's the thing, guys. We're not just gonna be looking at Anchorage or something like that. We're gonna be searching for the most northern town in all of the United States. All the way up here, we got Barrow, Alaska. I mean, just look how far up it is. Like, this is where most people live. Like, I think most people in the US live here on the East Coast. But all the way up here in the middle of nowhere, we got the town of Barrow, which I think has a population of 5,000 people. If we enable this map mode, we can see where the Arctic Circle is drawn. And you can see this entire part of Alaska is above the Arctic Circle. A lot of, like, North America is just below it. Like, I feel like a lot more of Scandinavia is above the Arctic Circle than in United States. But anyway, you can just see how I think Barrow is the biggest city in Alaska above the Arctic Circle, and it's only 5,000 people living here, which, to be fair, I feel like 5,000 is still quite a lot based on how it's in the middle of nowhere. This is massive, like, mountain range going here, and then it becomes tundra, and then it becomes this landscape with these, like, thousands of small different lakes everywhere. I don't know quite why this terrain is shaped the way it is right here and not like the way it's down here. I just noticed it when you go up really far up. Also, like in Siberia, the terrain also becomes kind of like this after a while. Maybe this is because a lot of this is like permafrost, because I know that Barrow, a lot of places here are built upon permafrost. But anyway, before we go into Barrow, I think we're gonna go up right north of it, because up here is the most northernmost point in the United States. And I actually think this is the thing which Barrow is named after. Barrow is named after this place called Point Barrow, which is the most northernmost spot in the United States. So let's go into Street View and see what it looks like up here. Oh man, there isn't any Street View right here in the top, but I think we can get pretty close to it anyway. Let's see if we can see it from here. Yeah, we can. Look, that is the most northernmost spot in all of the United States, up here on this, like, mud peninsula sticking out, this skinny peninsula. Like, this is taken in July, so in winter this would just be completely covered in ice and snow, but you can get a pretty good view of it now. I know that I think some parts of the year you can't even drive out here the entire way, because I think this area here is flooded. Just look how skinny this little part is. Oh, look at this. I thought I think I saw a street view a little bit closer. Let's see what is up here. Oh yeah, we're standing down on this Alaskan ground. This is the most northernmost gravel in the United States. Look how northern this gravel is. Oh, fantastic gravel. Just look at this wonderful beach, dude. I wonder if there's like any point of the year where like this water isn't freezing cold, where you could actually go for a swim without just like instantly going hyperthermic. Is there any like, is it in summer? How hot is this water in summer? I have no idea, but I don't think it's very popular to go swimming in this area. Before we go into the town of Barrow, let's read a little bit about it, because I know nothing about this place. So instantly when I search up Barrow here on Wikipedia, I noticed that that's not the name that showed up. I think this is the native name called Utqiagvik, which is like the Inuit name. I mean, I suppose it's the same way here in Alaska like it is in Greenland, because in Greenland I notice a lot of places have both Inuit and Danish names. So I suppose this is the same thing here, where a lot of places have both English and Inuit names. So let's see what. Yeah, it was formerly known as Barrow. Aha, so it was called Barrow, but it's now known as this. Okay, all right. And it is in fact the biggest city above the Arctic Circle in the United States and in Alaska. And it's named after the area called the Point Barrow, which we just looked at. Anyway, yeah, it says here roughly 5,000 people living here, which is like actually quite a lot. Like, even though it's not that many people, 5,000 people in reality compared to like major cities, it is still quite a lot of people when it's just like this far out in the middle of nowhere. Let's look at a little bit of some pictures here. This is what it looks like. So in 2008, it says here, this street has been left unpaved due to prevalence of permafrost. Yeah, I heard that this city has a lot of like permafrost. So like, maybe you can't put like concrete on this, because it would just like, it will collapse, or a lot of issues would happen because the permafrost would melt. Okay, here we got some photo. I think this is like the official seal of the town, and it's like a bunch of natives hunting for like whale bones, because I think whale boning is like it's a traditional thing people always done here. Yeah, you can see here, I think these are whale bones. And here's the welcome to Barrow, America's northernmost city. top of the world. Yeah, that's a pretty cool sign they got going there. Another sign with oh, that's a snow owl. We have those in Sweden too. Here it's like some type of monument. Everything here is made out of whale bones. Whalebone Arch in Utqiagvik. Here's some type of monument, right? I actually read a little bit about this. Apparently like a comedian and some like aviator in like the 1950s or 60s, they crashed their plane here in Barrow and they built this monument to honor them, the fact that they died here. I think there's a little bit of a, yeah, in 1935, the famous humorist Will Rogers and pilot Wiley Post. Here's a picture of a native Inuit kid from the 1960s in Point Barrow. And here's some pictures of some native drip. Here's some local drip. Look at these shoes. Look at these fur coats. Looking pretty good. Here's some type of, oh yeah, some signs. Seattle, New York. Okay, here's a shot of what the city actually looks like. It's a lot bigger than I expected. There's a lot more houses. I suppose this makes sense. 5,000 people live here, which is quite a lot. So I guess this kind of makes sense. Is this some type of like lake in the middle? Such a weird location for a city. Look how flat it is here. It's like a very, very flat in this area. There's another picture of the houses. Look how all the houses are built on like an elevation. Do you see it? All the houses are built on like stilts. And I think that is because the entire city is built upon permafrost, and you kind of have to build your houses on elevation. Otherwise, the heat of the house will melt the ground below, which is made out of permafrost, essentially making the entire house collapse or like sink into the ground, which is not very good. Here's a typical home in Barrow. Guys, I am just gonna start calling it Barrow. I know that they have like renamed it over to like the native name. Probably because most people here living here are natives and they want to have like their own name. But I'm just gonna call it Barrow because I cannot pronounce this. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Inuit native living here. I cannot pronounce your name. I'm sorry. I'm a Swedish person. I cannot pronounce. Barrow is a lot easier for me to pronounce, okay? So I'm just gonna stick with that, okay? Seems like the British Royal Navy were the first one who came here and explored and mapped this area of the Arctic in North America. And the US then acquired this place in 1867 when they purchased like it from Russia, because Russia obviously owned Alaska before the United States did, and then the United States bought it from Russia. So that's how this became part of the US. It said that in 2016 they changed the name from Barrow to the name which I cannot pronounce. Probably because like they wanted to have more of like a native name to this location and not have like the forced upon American English name. Which, okay, fair enough, I guess. So anyway, I'm still gonna call it Barrow because I cannot pronounce the Inuit name. So anyway, now that we have read a little bit about Barrow, I think we're gonna go around a little bit in Street View and kind of look around. I think we can start off in some very remote area here. Like, what does it look here? We're, like on the road now. We're driving to Barrow. I wonder if you can drive here. Can you drive here from like Anchorage, or do you have to fly here? I don't think there's any roads going here from Anchorage. What are we on? We're on some type of, oh, we're driving backwards. That's why it looks weird. I mean, this area right now does not look too good. I mean, this is in June. What? This is in June, dude. Look how much snow there is here still in June. And it's just completely flat. It's like a desert. It's like a, I mean, just look at this. This is permafrost, dude. It's just this wetland area everywhere. Look at all the houses. They're built upon stilts. What? Look at this. They have a dog sled. Literally, they're living up to the stereotypes. Dude, look how many four-wheelers they have here and snow scooters. This is insane. Look how many stuff they have. 1, 2, 3, 4 four-wheelers, and look how many snow scooters. 6, 7, 8, bro. Chill. And another four-wheeler, like, dude, this guy has just an infinite amount of them. And all of these trucks, they really like these types of cars, I noticed. Yeah, I don't see a single regular car. Everyone uses these types of cars with like a, yeah, well, every single car is like that, man. It doesn't look too good at the moment. I'll be honest, the houses look okay, but like, dude, it's so muddy here and I don't see a single tree. But I guess in like an area like this, no trees grow in this place. I wonder, is this a Latitude 71? This is a hotel, right? Yeah, Latitude 71. What does this hotel look like? This is some type of like, this looks like Sitting Bull, dude. Okay, we got some eggs. Okay, this looks, I don't know. Okay, some more like native stuff. Is this the hotel? Yeah, this is the inside of the hotel. Can we see a picture? Is this the hotel room? That's a crazy dripped out hotel room. Not gonna lie, I like it. These are some old native skis, I think, right? 71 North Tours. Oh, so you can drive around in one of these and get toured around in the city of Barrow if you're a tourist. Okay, seems chill. Tropica Pearl Pudding. Okay, sure. I mean, there's not a lot of good pictures of what it looks like inside of like the market. Barrow Islamic Center. What? Do they have Muslims in Barrow? I didn't think. This is like the last place I would expect to find a Islamic center, but alright, sure. Man, this looks a lot more tropical. Like, I don't know if palm trees is the right aesthetic for a location like this. Oh look, this is a Inuit heritage center. So we got a massive whale. There's some picture of these like Inuits hunting for whales. There's a polar bear. I think this is a traditional Inuit ship. Traditional Inuit drip. This picture, more drip. A whale head, a kayak. These are like Inuit masks, I guess they were using. Bunch of like spear tops and stuff. Bunch of local birds. I mean, cool. This is cool stuff actually. A Arctic Ocean coast. Oh, they have what is this? Some boat standing on the ocean. Okay, and this is some traditional boat maybe. Look like there's literally no sea here during winter. It's just the entire coastline of this Point Barrow is just like completely covered in ice during winter. Cruise Mexican Grill. Mexican is like the least vibe. Like Mexican has to be like the least fitting like aesthetic when it comes to an area like this. Like Mexico, when I think of Mexico, I think of like hot. I think of hot locations. So I don't know if that aesthetic fits, but sure, I guess you need Mexican food here. What is this, dude? Is this maybe like native food? I don't know. This is just standard American food. I mean, whoa, yeah, this is actually a really good hotel. These hotel rooms and everything looks pretty on point. Yeah, that looks perfect. BNC Java. Okay, this is some type of like Java. Is that like that maybe refers to like Indonesia? There's a lot of like international food in this location. I didn't expect it. I thought there would be only like a bunch of like native stuff here, but alright, sure. I wonder what sports they play in a location like this. I suppose mostly a sports that you do inside, right? Barrow Cemetery. Oh yeah, it's just a bunch of like sticks of crosses put into the ground. There's no like gravestones or anything. I wonder why that is. Memorial. Yeah, this is where this memorial where this guy, these people crashed and died is located. This is like in the middle of the town here. Another restaurant. Yeah, this looks like typical American hamburger, cheeseburger type food. Here we have Osaka. Bro, why is there so much? I mean, there's a lot of like international food locations here. Like they have the entire world here in Barrow, Alaska. I didn't expect that. Here we have like a very typical, yeah, this is America. I mean, Doritos, Pringles. Yeah, this is America. Definitely. Dude, American grocery stores, dude. This is just like look at all of this like processed stuff. Like I would literally just die out of like a heart attack the second I entered an American grocery store if I ever went to America. Pizzeria, yeah, let's go. They got native pizzeria, let's go. Mario's Pizza, another pizzeria. Bro, they have their fair share of restaurants here in Barrow, not gonna lie. Like they have so many restaurants, dude. Weird how their cemeteries are literally just like, it's just a bunch of crosses in the ground. There's no like stones or anything. This is all they have. Whoa, what is this? Some type of like radios, antenna. I don't know what these are used for. First of all, can we look a little bit near the airport? Because actually this airport is really big. I guess this is the only way to get here into Barrow, Alaska is via this huge airport. I think this is as close as we can get to the airport. I mean, here it is, just a massive open area. I guess building an airport must be easy in an area like this when it's so flat already. Now we're in between two big lakes, I think, here in Barrow. Are these like gas pipelines? That might be what it is. Driving around now in Barrow. As you can see, there's no actual roads here. It's just like mud and dirt because they can't like actually put actual road on this, because I think that is bad. Because everything is on top of permafrost, that would like ruin the permafrost. There's so many cars here, dude. They're parked literally everywhere. Just see how many cars there are. It's crazy, dude. Okay, we're right beside of the Heritage Center. I think we can maybe go inside of it. Let's see if we can. Oh no, we're just standing right in front of it, right? No, here it is. Here's the big whale bones and everything. Okay, all right, cool. Where are we now? Is this an Apple store or something? I see a bunch of phones on display. I suppose they also need phones even here. That makes sense that they have this also, I guess. Where are... Bro, it's just a container laying here in the middle of the city. I'm not gonna lie, this looks a lot more like a Russian city than like... maybe this is just what it looks like in America. Like, I have been very little in America on like Google Earth Street View, to be fair. But this looks like, when I look at this, it looks a lot more like Siberia, Russia. But to be fair, the climate here is very similar to a lot of places in Siberia, Russia. Is it like, why couldn't they have took these pictures in like a better point of year? Like, it looks like a war zone, but it might just be because of the weather and because it's like, but still, this is still in June, dude. This is in June. Like, does it get better in like August? Does it look more like green and... Does it ever get green here? I don't know. Maybe this always looks like this year round, except when it's winter and it's snow everywhere. Maybe it would have been looked better if the guy driving around in his car was here in like winter. Because honestly, this does not look too good. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't look too good so far, actually. Okay, now, okay, here's the memorial. I wonder what do you do here in Barrow? Like, in winter you can drive around in snow scooters and like you can fish, you can ice fish, right? For like crab and stuff, so I guess you can do that. Do they have a gym here? Can you work out? This guy looks Inuit. I wonder what the demographics are. Actually, I looked the demographics up. I think 60% of the city is Inuit, about 16% are white, and then like 9% are Asian, and then like everything else. So the most people living here are Inuit. Okay, now we're next to Osaka restaurant. Bro, what? I guess this is I guess the guy running this must be part of like the 9% Asian people living in this place. Some Japanese guy opened a Japanese restaurant here because he was losing his mind not being able to consume Japanese food all the way up here in Barrow. What is this, dude? I read this as CGI, but no, it says GCI. Okay, I read that poorly. There's actually pretty high buildings they got here. I suppose they still can build high buildings even though the permafrost, but it's actually pretty okay built. This area is a police department. But anyway, guys, that is today's video about the town of Barrow, the most northern spot in all of the United States, and we have looked around in it today. Very interesting. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another geography video, check the channel out, and I'll see you in the next one.